Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 23 of the WhotKnot podcast. My name is Kathy. I am a disabled maker after a car accident in 2007, and this is a podcast about all the crafty things. And this is the last podcast for the year. I can't believe that I've been doing this for a whole year. Hopefully you can see some improvement from those first episodes, and I'm still always learning, so that's good. You'll have to teach me a few things this last week with some of the prize draws that I had done on Instagram, so I learned a couple of things there. And Buddy's joining me today. He thinks when I get all dressed up that I'm going out, so he starts to freak out a little bit. So you've been freaking out because he thinks Mum's going to go out and leave him. But I'm not. I'm staying here with you. And we're going to talk to the people. He looks like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, but he's a real naughty boy. Aren't you? Real naughty. No. He is though. So, yeah, I feel proud of myself that I have consistently uploaded every 2 weeks for the last 12 months, and hopefully the content has been good. It seems to be appealing to people. We're gradually getting more and more subscribers, and I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's not only started subscribing this year but in the last month. We've had a lot of subscribers in the last month, and I really appreciate everybody. I love all the comments. It's getting harder and harder for me to actually respond to all the comments individually, but rest assured I read them. And not only do I read them to my husband, I read them to my daughter. We have a talk about some of the comments. Some of them are really funny. So yeah, it's been really good. So yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks not only for the interaction here on YouTube, but the interaction on Instagram, and the conversations also that I've had on my Etsy store. And on the subject of my Etsy store, I have closed it. It will be closed until the end of January, and during that time I'm hoping to make a few bits and pieces to top up my shelves in there. So let's have a look. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for all the comments, as I said, especially the people that have entered the giveaway that I announced on the last podcast for the Yumi jumper and yarn. So I've got that all bagged up, and I won't show it to you again. I am going to be trying to keep this a little bit shorter this time. I know it went ridiculously long. I had 2 thumbs down, and I think it was probably because it was just too long, but so I won't drag all this out and show it to you again. If you want to see what it is, you can have a look on the last podcast. But we had 89 people enter the competition, and I put the numbers in the random generator last night, and I can tell you that the winner was number 68, and it was Vickie Neal. So Vickie, you have won my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Congratulations. If you could get in touch with me with your postal, I will get that in the mail to you probably after Christmas at this point. I don't think we're going to have much luck getting anything out this side of Christmas, but I will get it in the mail to you. And I was so happy with the number of people that had commented and everything that I decided I would do a random second prize. So I'll just grab the picture. I've left it over on the desk there, so just hang on a second. So for those that follow me on Instagram, you will know that I have been posting fairly regularly with some Christmas pictures, and a lot of them have sold, but I have got a couple left. a lot of people contacted me privately on Instagram and said they would like to purchase them, so I've only got a couple left, and one of them was a giveaway on Instagram, but I have got one left and I thought I would give it as an extra bonus giveaway for my 1,000 subscribers, and it's this guy. So this little mousey carrying his Christmas tree home, and I did another random generator pick for it, and I got number 69, no, not 69, 29, and it was Mesheela. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'll put your name on the screen. So she regularly comments on my YouTube videos and watches them, so I was pretty happy to see her name come up. So if you could also get your address to me, you are the surprise random winner, second prize winner. So yep, so that's that. Again, thank you to everybody that subscribed. Thanks for making this a pretty successful year for me on YouTube. So it's been a great experience for me all round. Alright, so in the effort to keep things moving along, I am going to move into my finished objects, and I will continue with my watercolours. So I have got several watercolours to show you. This one was my prize on Instagram, my Christmas giveaway on Instagram, and lovely Davina from Little Workroom Crafts has won that. So that will be going in the mail shortly to you, Davina. I have got a couple of other bits I'm going to stick in that for you that I've found when I was cleaning up my craft room that I thought you might be interested in. So they'll be going in. I've got Frosty the Snowman. So, yep, he was a cutie. And of course, can't go past Father Christmas. And as I said, some of these are sold, some of them are not sold. So if you're interested in any of them, just let me know. And the last one, which went up just the other day, was my little girl leaving her little parcel of goodies at the front door with a knock and leaving to represent the social distancing that we're having to experience through Christmas this year. So looking on my watercolours this year, I've discovered that my signature thing is I like a pop of red in them. All my pictures that I think look quite good have that pop of red in them, and I think it really must appeal to my eye because it seems to happen in nearly every picture I paint. So that's my watercolours finished. I have got a few finished objects. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it did. So last week I showed you that I picked up a couple of packs from Woolies with like ceramic paint yourself for kids. They were kids kits. And I've painted them up. I did put a picture on Instagram, but I've got them here to show you. So I painted up Rudolph, and he's got his red nose. It came with this ribbon, so I've put that back on. Those that saw it on my Instagram know I dropped this and broke off one of his antlers, but as you can see, super glue fixes everything. So yep, he's all ready to go back on the tree. Hopefully that's not blurry. It looks a bit blurry to me, but hopefully it's not. Oh, see? He's alright, he made it, he bounced. Oh, I'm the worst. I cannot be trusted these days. My hands just will not grip things as well as they used to. I'll wrap the ribbon around my hand with this one so I don't drop him. Don't want to drop Santa. So here's Santa. Put him in the middle. And yep, I think they came up really well. It was a fun afternoon painting. I have put the date on them, just on his backside there. because I like to look back on these in years to come and know when I painted them. And as I've done before, I have a lot of clear nail polish. I'm not quite sure why, but I do. I do know why, because I hoard things like that. I don't buy one of things. I'm hopeless. That's going to be my goal for 2021. Just because you like it doesn't mean you have to buy 100 of them. Note to self. So what I've been doing is when I make these, I use clear nail polish to varnish them. So yeah, so that works out pretty well. So yep, they're my Christmas decorations that I made. And then I finished my kitty for Mill. So this was supposed to be Christmas, but the eyes didn't turn up as quickly as I would have liked, so they're still sitting. He was sitting around for a little while waiting to be finished, but he is finished now, and he's got his chubby cheeks on. I have done a couple of little modifications in the pattern. I got this lovely ribbon off Paula from Stitch by Mrs. D in a parcel that she sent me, and I thought it went perfectly. And I've put a little on his little key, his little collar. He's got a bell and a tiny little paw. But yeah, there's a close-up look at his eyes. Why aren't I holding things in the middle of the screen? So what I've done with this, the couple of modifications that I did, is I felt like the face was quite flat. If you look at the profile of the face there, you can see I've really got the nose to stick out, a little bit of a chin definition action happening, and I did all that with I just used one strand of the mohair, and I just used it to sort of sculpt the face a bit. So yep, I recessed the eyes a little bit more than the pattern suggested because I felt like they looked a bit bulgy. The pattern says that you can use 14 mil or 13 mil. These are 12 mil eyes. I bought a few different sizes because I wasn't too sure, and as you can see, what I did was at the back of them, I tied a piece of string each on each one, and once I'd put the head together, I pulled the eyes back so that they sort of sunk in to like the eye sockets to give it that little bit more of a natural look. The other thing that I've done is I've sculpted around these haunches at the back here. And the way I did that was I have got a long needle, which I recommend if you're making these, and I just got, again, some of the mohair, one strand. I ran the needle across, pulling it in as I went until I got that nice little bit of definition there. The other thing that she doesn't say to do is no stuffing in the tail. I put the slightest amount of stuffing. It's really soft, so I put slightest amount of stuffing. The other thing that I've done is on the paws, they go straight down on the pattern. They don't have any definition to them. So what I did was I ran the needle through the arm of it and then wove it back through and pulled it. So just the front, the back doesn't have the gathering. Just on the front of the paw, I did the gathering and put some little toenails on him, or claws I should say, and the same with the feet here, got some tiny little claws on them. But that's really all I did. The pattern is genius. This woman's mind must be amazing. I'm so keen to knit some more bits and pieces like this. It was a lot of fun. It's lovely and soft. The other thing that I've done here, which is not in the pattern, is I showed you on last episode that I had bought some feathers, and I was planning on ripping the feather part off and using the spine of the feather. Well, I tried that and they looked a bit thick. I think obviously they were $2 shop feathers. If you bought quality ones, you'd probably get better. But what I ended up using was actually use the feather. I'll just hold that, see if I can get the feather part. And I dipped the end in some fabric glue, and then I used the end of a DPN to push them in to the material. So definitely not a kid's toy. If you yanked on them, they would come out, but they are glued in, they won't fall out. You would have to sort of fiddle around with them. So it's definitely not a toy to be played with. And then finally, just so Mill doesn't forget, I sewed a tag on his butt that just says handmade. What am I doing? Handmade. Yep. So I was pretty happy with that, how that turned out. Mill and I have talked about it, and she is coming up in February, and I'm going to hang on to this little guy until she gets here so that she can nurse it back home. So that was that. And the final thing that I've got to, I know, all the finished objects. The final thing that I've got to show you is my dust of snow. And I finished it early. I did not use all the 24 skeins, and you'll see why in a minute. Because I thought if I kept going, this thing's going to be so big it's going to be unusable for me. So I got to open 18, and I've used 18, and I kind of tried it on and thought, no, that's big enough for me. So I've got the other skeins there, and I'll use them in something else, no doubt. But this is my dust of snow. I held it together with some Suri alpaca by Zakami that I'd bought earlier in the year. I've weaved in the ends, but I haven't blocked it at this stage. I didn't want it to grow even more, but it's so beautiful. It's so soft. It was really enjoyable to knit on because you're sort of holding 4-ply and the mohair together. It grows really quickly, and I think it's so pretty and soft, and as you can see, a good size. So yeah, I kind of thought if it gets much bigger, I won't kind of know what to do with myself in it. So it's definitely big enough. I've got plenty to wrap around. So yeah, so that was my other finished object. I'll just give you a little closer look at some of the lace work in it. So there's two different types of lace. There's that one there, which is like a ladder kind of one. Actually, there's three. And then there's like a punctuating row, which in between each section, which is this one here. And then it goes on to a zigzag pattern. And then there's kind of this laddery type one. But yeah, no, I thought the colours, definitely the mohair mutes the colours down, but yeah, I just thought it turned out so nice. I was very happy with it. I like the border on it. It's got the like I-cord border, so it's really neat. The pattern was easy, memorizable. Yeah, all in all, a very pleasant experience. I am going to be taking a break from the knitting over the next month, but I have got some other crafty projects to work on over the next month. So that is all my finished objects. Alright, and the next thing I'd like to talk to you about is my past decorations that I've made. And as I said in my last video, Mum has supplied these because I do not tend to keep things that I've made. I tend to give them to people or sell them or just that sort of thing. They give them to Mill, she ends up with quite a few, so Mum's got quite a few. So she went through and had a look, and I asked her to pull a couple of things out, and I showed a couple on my last episode, and I've got another 2 to show you. So as I said last time, we used to have a shop in country Victoria, and I used to make quite a few bits and pieces for the shop, including a lot of Christmas decorations. And these are a few bits that I like, the sort of thing that I used to make for the shop. So, and as I explained in the last video, my husband used to cut these all out of timber. And this is a little star with a bear on it. It's got a little bell on the top, and he's holding a little heart there, which I think that was a little button for memory. He's got his woolly hat on and his coat, his scarf and woolly jumper. So yep, they were very popular in the shop, and I sold quite a lot of those. Haven't done a lot of the folk art for a while, but yep, I don't think that's got a date on it when I made it. Let me have a quick look. Yes, it has. That looks like it says 2004. So yep, that little guy is one. And I've put the back of it, I've just sealed it with some felt, just so it's all nicely finished and everything. So that's that one. And the other one, I made this as a gift for Mum one year, and it is a cross stitch, and she hangs that up each year. So I embroidered that, or cross stitched it I should say, and turned it into this little hanger. So on the back of it I put some felt to cover up all the stitching and everything, put a little handmade, which I used to make those myself for my bears and things, and again a little embellishment, which they are buttons that I just cut the back of. So yep, and as you can see on the front there's a few little beads on that section, and my mum's name is Joy, so she's got her name on that. So yep, that was another one that I've made, and I made that in 2012. So handmade just for you by Kathy. So yeah, there are another couple of Christmas decorations that I've made in the past. All right, now let me have a look. All right, so I think now I will insert the second half of Mill's video. On the last video, you all seemed to really enjoy her blanket that she'd finished making and she was showing to you. That seemed to be a very popular section, and I think the next section that we've got coming up is some more of the things that she's made over 2020. So I'll hand it over to you, Mill, and you can show everybody what you've been making. Okay?
So then the one that I'm working on for the couch is a little bit brighter. I'll let it speak for itself. But yeah, I decided the grey one, although beautiful, probably just didn't like hold its own enough in our lounge room. So Beck has a very kind of like vintage 1950s vibe going on. Not that this blanket is very 1950s, but we have this really hideous, actually it's okay, she thinks it's hideous as well. She said it was an impulse purchase when she bought the house, so I won't hold it against her, but we have this really terrible leather lounge suite, which I would never approve of. But she bought it before I met her, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. But we never sit on it. It's just kind of like there. If we ever sit down, we just sit, like I sit here, we sit in bed, we sit outside. Like we don't really sit in the lounge room. Like the entire lounge room is really just for aesthetic purposes, which seems weird because we literally have a 2-bedroom unit. So it's not like we've got a lot of space going on. But yeah, we do have this entire room that we don't actually use. We just like make it look pretty and walk through it. But I think this will look better on the couch. The couch is like a dark brown. And I think this will pop, and also it's much bigger. Well, it will be when I finished it. This one, like I said, turned out to be a little bit just too small. So when I put it on the back of the couch, I kind of got lost in the couch. Whereas this one will not get lost anywhere. Oh, I need a little drink. One moment, please. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so this blanket will not get lost any place, any time. Which one's the front? Which one's the back? This is the front. And I love it. For a start. It's so thick and plush. So I'm using 2 8-ply held together for the plain areas, and then an 8-ply, and this is also 8-ply, but it's definitely thinner, but it's not because it's fluffy. So this is so gaudy. I love it. It's definitely blowing out a bit. It's not quite as bright as it is on the screen, but I think you get a sense of how bright it is. And again, I just started doing squares and then joining them together, and then a pattern emerged, and now it's coming together. And I've got a lot more to do, so this is going to be a lot bigger, but it's already bigger than the other one. Oh, it's so warm and delicious. And it's just like thick and soft. This is just like incredibly soft, like a baby bird, but softer. And it's funny because Beck's mum gave me this, and she got me, like, I've got this and also like a greeny coloured version of this. She just got me so many balls of it, and at the time I was like thinking that I would make like a jumper out of it or something. And then I was like, when am I ever going to get around to making a jumper out of that? But this is like the perfect project for it, because on top of it being delicious, it works up super fast because, like, it's basically super chunky when you're holding, like, 2 8-plies together. And the yarn is paint box, which is, like, I know it's not, like, the greatest acrylic of all time, but it's definitely my favourite for the colours. And it's very plush. Like, even the 8-ply, it's just, like, very fat, and I'm about it. Like, it's value for money for a start. So yeah, like, holding it both together, I reckon I've been working on this for like maybe 2 weeks, which is bananas, because and like, this is what, 4-ply cotton, so I was working on this for like 6 months. Obviously a lot more stitches, but, like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Chunky yarn. Something to be said for it. So I reckon this will, like, I'll have this finished before Christmas, and that will be exciting. I'm very excited about it. But yeah, I think it looks good. I like it. And yeah, what do you think? Like the colours? I like the colours. It's not 1960s. Well, actually, it's not 1950s. It's actually 1960s, I think. It's definitely got more, like, yes, I did some mushrooms and then I did some acid vibes about it. Then I did some acid, and then I did some crochet. So yeah, probably more 60s, but I think it'll look good. Beck says she likes it. We will see, because that's what she said about this one. But then I got, I got vibes that she wasn't as about it as she could have been. But no, I think I want to go down well. So in the spirit of chunky stuff, which again I'm about, obviously, I made this plant holder. I made this out of the t-shirt yarn. Sorry guys, rogue fringe. I made this out of, that t-shirt yarn. It looks like this. It's awful to work with. As previously discussed on Instagram, it's very heavy duty. So like it's sort of, well, it's thick, obviously, but as well as that, like, it's a little bit rough. And especially to make something like this. So this is in waistcoat stitch, which is like fake stockinette, as you can see. This is crochet, but it's where it's all single crochet, but you work the single crochet into the previous single crochet. And like crocheters will know what I'm talking about, and everyone else won't care, so that's fine. Just have a look at what it looks like. And the colours, which I really like. But yeah, as I was saying, this particular like pattern, or this particular stitch is quite hard to work at the best of times, because you working that single crochet into the last, like really into the middle of the last single crochet is quite hard. Like you really have to like push it in there. So with this yarn, it's even harder. But I really think the final product is worth it, because this just wouldn't look the same if you just did this in regular single crochet, or half double, which I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, this was going to be a gift for a friend of mine, but Beck really liked it and she decided that she would have it. So now this is sitting in the lounge room, and I'm trying to make another one for my friend. Anyway, I thought that was cute. As I was making it, I wasn't like totally sure, but then when I finished, I was pretty happy with it. And like I said, it's kind of hard going, but I think the final product is good. So this is the second one that I've made, and I did do it a little bit differently. So that one, I'll tell you for this one. So for this one, I did the rounds also in waistcoat, which I didn't do for that one. I just did them in single crochet, but I can't show you because it's got a plant with water in it. And on this round, before I started doing the side, I did do the single crochet in back loop only. So it gave it more of a definition of the base, whereas this one's a little bit more rounded. And you can see that there's no, like, it's just, that's the base, and then that's your first single crochet all the way through. So I don't know, which one do you guys think looks better? Probably hard to say because this one's just like a weird shape because it doesn't have anything in it. But do you think it makes a difference? Do you think it matters? I wonder if it'll sit better. I don't know. I could be overthinking this. So the only other problem with this is I don't know if I'll have enough left, because this stitch really chews up the yarn. But also the fact that you've got to use, like, what is this? I mean, this is a 12, but the yarn recommended that you use a 15, but I didn't have a 15. So I'm doing this with a 12, and I would say crocheting loosely, but I still don't think, I definitely am not achieving how big like I'm not achieving the same size as if I did a 15, even though I'm crocheting pretty loosely with this. So I don't know. Yeah, I actually prefer this. I like the idea of like not having anything, like not having any holes. I've got another whip at the moment in this, which is going to be a bath mat. Another very gaudy addition to my house. So this is half double, and obviously just in normal rows. So you can see, and again, crocheted in the size 12, not the 15, but you can see the holes. I mean, it's certainly not, you know, it's nowhere near solid. Like my fingers go right through them. So I don't know. It chews through the yarn, but this square. So I'll just show you how big it is now. So like big, but not massive. Like I'm hoping this will be half of it. So I'll make another half that goes up to here. It's big for a bath mat, but it's not massive. But this was 2 rolls, like 2 skeins. And this yarn is like, I got it on special, I think for $10 a skein. But ordinarily it's like $17.50. So if I were to make this bath mat at full price, and I think it's going to take me another 2 of each, it would literally be like, now I can't do the math, but like $17.50 times 4 at least. And like, it's probably not going to be the size exactly that I want it to be, but I'm not buying any more. Like I'll just make it with whatever comes. Like there's two more skeins coming, and however long it is when I finish with those 2, that's how long it's going to be. Because yeah, I think that's going to be enough of the t-shirt yarn for me for a while. It's definitely grown on me, and I'm really happy with the pot plant, or maybe I'm just happy that Beck was happy. That's a very confusing emotion. I don't know if I am that happy with it, to be honest with you. Suffice to say, when this mat's finished, and however this turns out, I think that's it. I think I'll just go back to the cotton. Speaking of cotton, I made this for my friend's baby. And it's so adorable that I want to die. No. It's so adorable that I want to eat it though. And I'm really worried that it's not going to fit her because it took me a long time to make it, and like she's growing really fast. So she's 18 months old today, and I made up this pattern with no reference to how big a baby is at 18 months. Why did I do that? Who knows? But I did. And so, I don't know. I saw her this morning. I think she might actually fit in it. My only concern is, and my friend did say at the time, like, you know, she has a round belly. She's a little baby, so she's got a little round belly. And so make it really roomy in the skirt, which I did that by making the top like quite short. So it's really just more of a like whatever those tops are that wouldn't actually necessarily go, like they just go on your upper chest. That was my thought. And then I was like, I'll do just like a skirt that gets gradually bigger. So what I did with that was I did a couple of rows of like however big the skirt was. And then I increased it a little bit, and then I increased the needle size like 3 times, or the hook size, I should say. So once it got to about there, I didn't make any more stitches, but I increased because I also wanted it to be a little bit more drapey. So up here it was quite structured, and here it's very structured because I did a very tight stitch for the top. But down here I wanted it to be a little bit more drapey, and I definitely think it got there. Although I was using like, this is, I think this might actually be 8-ply cotton, the green. The top is definitely 4-ply cotton, but the green I think is 8-ply cotton, and I was using like a 6mm hook, which is pretty big even for 8-ply cotton. But I think the drape of it's like much nicer. Anyway, this baby has a round tummy like a normal baby would, but she also has, I think, potentially quite a long body. So I'm worried now that even though I made the skirt a bit longer, because the top is short, this skirt is not going to be long enough. It's really a lot to consider. This is why I don't make clothes. But I did see her today and I spoke to my friend and I said, look, I didn't bring the dress because I think that it's going to be too small for her. And she was like, yeah, whatever, we'll just put leggings underneath it. And I was like, I didn't bring the dress. So I'm going to give this to her next time I see her, or maybe I'll drop it in over the weekend and just see. Like, why not? If it doesn't fit her, maybe she'd give it to one of her friends from her mother's group or something. I don't know. But I should just stop making things without a pattern. Again, I don't like it. I don't like going to school. I don't like going to uni. I don't like following patterns. Is it a crime? Is it a crime? You know, unless you go to all this trouble for nothing. One thing I will say about this, which I was just like really pleased with myself for doing, is that so where the pink meets the green, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well. But do you see these stitches where the pink meets the green? Like, they are so freaking neat. And I'll tell you how I did it. When I did the crochet, I didn't just crochet in the back loop. I crocheted in the loop behind the back loop. This is probably a thing that people know of and not something that I just made up. But I hadn't actually heard of it. I was just like, I wonder what it'll look like if I crocheted that one. And it looks good. So if you haven't tried that one, you should definitely try it. It looks really neat. And it makes a lovely little like V-stitch along the border. Recommend. So that was another thing that I finished. And there was a couple of other things that I made for Harriet, which I will put some pictures of here because I was really happy with them. This one is a watermelon that I made. I know there's like a theme, but it is the same yarn. And this watermelon inspired the dress. So look, again, is it a crime? Watermelons are delicious and cute, and so is Harriet. And so, you know, she loves the watermelon. I put a little rattle in it. So I'm keen for ideas on this as well, because I've made her other stuff and she likes it, but she prefers the rattles. So this is what I'm using. You know these eggs that come out of Kinder Surprise? So I get these and I eat the chocolate, obviously. And then I put, it's just like a bit of a waste, but I chuck out the shitty toy in the middle. Ooh, I need to bleep that out. Sorry, Ma. I chuck out the toy in the middle, and then I put in beads. Like, can I put any beads like these? No, I have not got any handy. Anyway, they're like bear beads, you know, little white pallety beads. They make a good shaker sound. And then I put tape around this so that it never explodes and leaks beads everywhere. And then I put it in the middle of the thing. But I don't really super love the idea of buying a Kinder Surprise and throwing away the plastic thing in the middle and using this, like just doing all that just for this egg. So if anyone else has any ideas, another idea I had but I haven't tried yet is, what if you got 2 Coke bottle lids and filled one Coke bottle lid up with the stuff and then put the other one on top and then taped that around. Because it's plastic on plastic, maybe that would work. I just had a thought of that. I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, if anyone else has any ideas about things that you can use for rattles that you can make, like you can tape around and make safe, but just like to use stuff up rather than like buying new stuff, because like that's not the point. Well, it might be the point for some people, but like I don't want to do that. So yeah, let me know, please. But yeah, she really enjoyed the watermelon. This was another thing I made her, and I just gave it to her today, and she liked it. I feel like she would have liked it with a rattle in it. That was my bad, an oversight. I should have put a rattle in it. But she did like it, and she was very pleased to have it. But thank you for having me and listening to me blabber on, and it was very nice to catch up with you all. And please, if you have any tips about rattly things, put them in the comments, because that would help me out a bunch. Because I have to make beautiful things for Harriet that make terrible sounds to annoy her mother. Bye everyone, talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks Mel, thanks for showing everybody what you've been making over 2020. Some really amazing bits and pieces. Mel's very clever, and of course I love all of the things that she makes. So thanks Mel, thanks for joining us, and maybe the next podcast, or at least one podcast next year, we will actually be side by side together, so look forward to that. Alright, now I said to you in my last video that in the cleanup process that I've been going through here in my craft room, I'm not one that tends to sit on a whip. I tend to start something and generally finish it, and I'm kind of like that with everything that I do. But I did come across a whip, and when I found it, I can't believe I forgot about it. I don't know when I started it, but I remember starting it. I'm not that far through it. I remember picking out all the yarn and everything for it, and it is called the Bullfinch by, let me see if I can get this right, Culabra Designs, and it is a really nice jumper. I will put a picture of it here, more a tea style, and I do remember that I have modified this. I've got a piece of Suri alpaca on my nose that I can see, and this is what I have found. I've got this much done. This is Holst Garn, held double. The pattern is definitely not size inclusive. In fact, the largest size would not have fit me, and to remedy that, it was only a little bit off, and I didn't want it to be tight. I wanted it to have a little bit of positive ease. So what I've done is the jumper is knit in 4-ply, so I am knitting it in 8-ply, and I have gone up, I think she calls for you to use 3.75mm needles, and I am using 4mm needles. So my jumper or tee is going to be bigger than the biggest size that she makes it. So there's that. I have got my yarn all picked out. I had it all in this project bag and everything. So this is the colour of the main part that I'm knitting it in. It's a lovely sort of olivey green colour. Holst Garn, very affordable. The thing with Holst Garn is that it really blooms nicely when you wash it. So it's a really nice yarn, it's very soft. I am using the, let me just tell you, this is 95% wool, 5% cashmere. So it's really soft and it's got a slightly mottled look about it. So I'm hoping to get a bit of work done on that between now and when I see you guys next. We'll see how we go. And of course I'm still working on my Cumulus. I did pick that up this week and I have started the bottom band on the main body of the jumper. So moving forward with that as well. So that was my mysterious whip that I found in the deep dark depths of my craft room. As I said, I don't normally have whips. I don't like whips hanging around. They mess with my mind. Another thing that I got here that I was going to talk to you about that I'm really keen to cast on after knitting the cat. I've just been trawling around looking at all the cute things that you can knit, and I'm keen to cast on Candy Bear by Mary Jane's Tea Room. So I'll put a picture of that there. So I've got all my yarn and everything ready to go, so I'm hoping to cast that on at some point. I've downed the needles. I'm not picking up any needles for 2 weeks to give my body a rest, and I'm hoping that that will suffice. So as I said, we'll be working on some other things. I want to get my cushions made for my couch. I've got to make some more rope bowls for the shop. I want to see if I can at least cut that dress out that I bought all the material for earlier in the year. I was planning on having it for my Christmas dress. Well, that hasn't happened. So I've got my embroidery that I started last year, my fox embroidery. I have done a little bit of that in this past week, so I'm hoping to finish that because, as I said, I do not like things hanging around that I have half finished. And yeah, so I've got quite a few bits to go on with. Alright, so let's talk about the Etsy sellers this week. And I wanted to show you this before I even opened it, so I'll show it to you and then I'll pause the video, open it, and then I can show you the bits. But this came so beautifully packaged. Look at that. How Christmassy is that? This Etsy seller is called Laura's Pawsome Treats. Laura's Pawsome Treats. And these are some bickies for my dogs for Christmas. And I'll tell you, those biscuits that I showed you on the last podcast, they're gone. All gone. We ate them all up. They were delicious. And I can tell you right now that Mr. WhotKnot did not get his fair share. So might have eaten some of his. So I'll just pause the video here and open this so I can show you what's inside it. Alright, so I've got that open, and I just wanted to give you the rest of the information about this Etsy seller. So as I said, her name is Laura's Pawsome Treats. She is Laura. She's in Melbourne, Victoria. She's got 50 sales in her shop. I paid $20 for this plus postage, and I had a look this morning and she's currently got a shop closed, as a lot of Etsy sellers have for Christmas. But if you're interested in anything after Christmas, I would definitely get in touch with her. But she's done a lovely job on this. It's all the biscuits are individually packed. There's a good assortment of different sizes. So there's some nice big ones for Rusty and some little ones for the little guys. They've all got little, like this one with they're just the plain ones. And some of them have got a little bit of icing decoration on them. Holding that up the wrong way. And nice little packaging. So yeah, some really cute bits and pieces there. A lot in there. And I'll see, Rusty's just here, so we'll see if he fancies one. Do you want one of these, Rusty? He's found his treat from this morning that he's madly eating. Okay, up. All right, we had a bit of a technical difficulty. He got his treat that he's just found from this morning stuck in his tooth. So we've just got that out, so he's ready for the demonstration now. Come here, up, up. No, around here. Come here, up, up, up. Rusty, up, up. Okay. He's pretty keen. What do you think? Are these Pawsome treats? Well, I think they're going to be successful. That did not last long. Yeah. You dropped a little bit. Maybe one more for the road. Oh, they're quite yummy, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, yep. He's keen for those. Well, look, there's a big box of them, mate, so there's going to be plenty. Plenty to eat. Good boy. Up, down. Good boy. No, he's looking for some more. Yes. So successful. So yeah, if you've got a doggy and you would like to buy some of these, yeah, get in touch with Laura. She did a great job. As I said, I paid $20 for this box. I think there's 24 treats in there and postage, and it was very well packed. So nice one, Laura. Successful. Rusty's looking at me all keen like, is there any more? Anyway, and like Ralph and Buddy are now sitting at my feet like, are we going to get some too? Is there going to be some for us? Alright. No, you've had some. Let's see if little dogs like them. I'll break one in half for little dogs. Here we go, Ralph. Ralph's not keen. Buddy? Buddy was keen. Ralph's picky though. He's a little bit picky. Alright, now the second Etsy seller that I've got here for you today is End of Day Ornaments, and that's Clair. She's got 68 sales in her shop, and she is from Tagoom in Queensland, and I paid $12 for each of these plus postage. And what Clair makes are fused glass. These are Christmas ornaments, but she does all sorts of things. I actually thought this is a Christmas ornament, but I would hang that up all year round. I think that's quite nice. It's beautifully finished off with the little bead and the lovely ribbon. I had a choice in the ribbon, so you could choose, I think it was like a yellow, a blue, a green, but I went for the red. A nice little gift as well. But that's fused glass there. And the other one that I bought was Rudolph. Also beautifully done. I'm just going to put that over my hand so I don't drop it. So really cute, nice little thing. Really well made. As I said, nice little embellishments with the beads. She doesn't do, as I said, she does other things, not just Christmas decorations, but they both came beautifully wrapped in tissue paper, and then she provides these little storage pouches for you to keep them in when they're not in use, when you pack them away at Christmas time. So they each came in one of those. So I thought that was a nice thing. So great job, Claire, and yeah. If you're interested in supporting Etsy sellers, go and check her out. And I actually had a question on my, not last episode, on episode 21. And I'm sorry, I can't remember who asked the question, but they wanted to know, how do I find my Etsy sellers? And I have two methods where I find Etsy sellers that have few sales. So the first method is I will put in the search engine Handmade Australia, so you use your whatever country you're in, and it'll bring up anything that's been tagged as that on Etsy. And what I normally do is I don't pay too much attention to the first few screens. I will go as far into it as I can to find Etsy sellers that are not sort of heavily promoted by Etsy. So then I will just start trolling through until something catches my eye. And the other way that you can sort of tell is on the page it'll come up with the picture, and underneath it'll tell you how many reviews. So usually if somebody's got only 2 or 3 reviews, it means they haven't had many sales. So that's another way that I look for it. Another thing that I do is I will type in a random word. Like, for argument's sakes, with those decorations I might type in glass, and then I will filter down and I will mark the filter with Australia and handmade, and then I'll do the same thing. I will go into sort of the last few pages of what's been offered up under that category and see what appeals to my eyeball. So that's how I find my Etsy sellers. That's how I find ones that don't have many sales. So yeah, if you want to try either of those techniques, you can. Alright, so the next section is my For Me From Me, and if you're not keen to watch that, that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much for joining me on the last episode for 2020. I wish you a very, very happy Christmas. Or if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a lovely restful time at this time of year. And I wish you health and happiness and good times in 2021. So surely we've got to be up for a dose of that for next year. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing you and hearing what you've been up to over Christmas next year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. But for the rest of us, let's see some of this kooky stuff that I've been buying. So the last bit that I've got is the For Me From Me, and I'm going to try and keep this brief because I am going to be, as I said, trying to keep this video a bit shorter. So I've only got a couple of things to show you. Alright, my family think I'm completely nuts, and that's potentially the case. I think I have mentioned before on previous podcasts that I have a doll that I've had since I was about 3 years old. And I don't think you can see her at the moment. She's up on the shelf, but I will give you a close look at her next year. And I was on eBay looking for something, and I don't know how. How do we end up on these random searches? When you start going on any of eBay or Etsy or anything, you might think, all right, I'm going to go and look for A, B or C, and you end up looking at something completely random. Well, that's what happened to me. And I saw this doll and I thought, oh my gosh, that is Mavis's Double Ganger. That's my doll's name, Mavis. My grandma helped me pick that name. And I thought, oh, I'm going to buy that. I don't know why I felt like I needed 2 Mavises, but I did. And anyway, so I bought it. Came up on my eBay purchases, and my husband was like, what is that you've bought? And I was like, it's Mavis's Double Ganger. I can't leave it out in the world. I have to go and buy it and bring it home. And so he sent that to my son and my daughter. Look what you think I'm nuts. Look what your mum's buying off eBay. Anyway, this doll turned up. It's not Mavis's Double Ganger at all. It's about twice the size of Mavis. It's more modern than Mavis. Mavis is an older doll. But I am going, my plans for this doll, and here she is. She's quite big. As I said, Mavis is about half this size, but her face looks like Mavis's little face. I'm a sucker for a cute little face on a doll or teddy or anything like that. And she seems to be dressed in her original clothes, which I feel kind of bad because the whole reason that I bought this doll was because I thought, oh, next year I'm going to make her a whole new outfit. And now I feel kind of bad discarding her. You know, I mean, they're a little bit stained. They're a little bit grotty. There's a bit of a stain on the back there. I don't know what that is. She's got a red thing on her. But I don't know. I feel kind of bad making her lose her clothes that she's had forever and a day. Look, she's got red thread on her or something. So yeah, I don't know, but she's got a very sweet little face, and I'm not sure about this hair. I thought maybe I could get her a nice wig or something. Just a little bit of background. I have made porcelain dolls at competition level, and was quite successful at that. And so I've always had a little bit of a thing going for dolls. Yeah, I blame my grandma because she had a bit of a thing for dolls as well. So yeah, I've bought this doll. Okay, so the footage here might look a little bit different because I just noticed when I downloaded the video that I'd done that my battery died while I was talking to you about my doll, and I missed a little section there. So I'm just going to record the little bit to join those bits together so it makes sense. So I've already started packing up my background a little bit, so it might look just a tiny bit different, but that's all right. I was talking to you about this doll, and yeah, so as I said, I'm not sure whether I'm definitely going to strip her off and wash these clothes, and I'm not sure whether I will just tizzy these clothes up or make her a whole new set. I'll show you the stamp on the back of her, which basically says Regal Canada with the numbers 209ED. So I'm not sure what that means. I might Google that and have a look, but if anybody knows anything about that doll, I would love to hear about it. So yeah, so that's the doll that should be Mavis that's not Mavis, so it's going to end up to be somebody else. So we'll see where we end up with her. And the next thing that I purchased, which was also a bit weird and wacky, because that's how I roll, was this guy. So yeah, I showed him. I'm not quite sure what's happened, but I've lost a segment of footage, and the next bit I tell you a little bit more about this guy. But yeah, so I will be ditching that outfit and redressing this guy next year. The thing that appealed to me about him is the wooden face. Like, it is actually wood, a wooden face. He's got wooden soles of his feet, and it's got the tag on it, so it says Ranker's Bears, I think that's how you would pronounce that. And it's got a little, in that little tag on him, it's got a little blurb about it. Robert Rakies has a delightful collection with his unique style of wood carving. So yeah, it's got some information about the guy that's made these. But yeah, look at the little baby one. I'm such a sucker for this sort of thing. But yeah, my plans are to dress this guy. He's in great condition and he's super cute. So while I was in this shop looking at these, I've actually bought quite a few things from this shop in the past because Beck loves retro repurposing and things like that, and this lady sells a lot of that. So I'll put this lady's Etsy shop in the link in the box down below, as I do with all the bits and pieces, and if you want to go and see what other bits she's got, you can. But I had a look in her shop to see what else she had so that I could save on postage if I bought more than one thing. I've got this red thread, I think it's come off the ribbon that's on the doll's head. But I bought this thing. I don't know if it's old or not. I just thought it was cute. It's made in Western Germany. And look at her little outfit. She's so cute. It says 1969 on the back of it. There is some production number and some words in German, which I do not speak German, so cannot read those. But yeah, she's got, you pull the string and her little arms move. And what am I going to do with this? I just liked it. It wasn't very much money, and I thought I'm going to just hang that on my wall somewhere here in the craft room with all my other curio bits. When I showed it to my husband, he said, "She looks like you." So yeah, there's that. That's what's written on the back of it there, if anyone's interested. And you can see how it works. It's got 2 rubber bands across, and you just pull it, the thread. But yeah, I just thought it was rather nice, something a little bit different, and yeah, so I bought that. And the last thing in the For Me From Me section, Mr. WhotKnot bought me for Christmas, and they arrived the other day, and he gave them to me early, so I got my early Christmas present. And these are some lovely watercolor paintbrushes. They are not cheap, so thank you, Mr. WhotKnot. I am very keen to give these a go. They look like they've got lovely points on them. It's a bit hard to see with the glare. I haven't, as you can see, I haven't taken them out of the packets yet because I was keeping them nice. But that's the brand name on the back there. You can see the website if anyone is interested. I am thinking next year to mix things up a bit, to instead of doing the Etsy seller as much, I'm thinking about alternating next year, and in that section of the video, because I have had several requests of doing a small watercolor tutorial and alternate it. So I'll do the watercolor tutorial one week and then the Etsy seller the other week. So yeah, I'm just thinking about things I can do to switch up the show for you guys and keep it interesting. But that's it. That's everything. My husband is on his way home as we speak, so he's super excited about that. I'm going to see my mum tomorrow and drop off her Christmas present, and he's going to go and do the grocery shopping. Yes, so I won't have to do that. Yeah, so I said to him, well, if I go and see mum in the morning, you go and get the grocery shopping done. We can hunker down in the afternoon, and then there is really no reason for us to leave home. He is going to buy all the Christmas goodies. I feel like I need to just cut back on the Christmas goodies because we got a voucher from Mark's Auntie Rhonda for Christmas for $100, and it was for Liquorland. So I went down and bought a few bits for Christmas, and I'd only spent about $30 or so, and the fella at Liquorland said to me, "We've got a special. Are you interested in a litre of Bailey's Irish Cream?" And I was like, yes, I am actually. Very interested. So I bought that, and I thought, all right, won't open it till Christmas. Did that happen? No. I opened it as soon as I got home and had some, and I've been having some every night. And I don't know about you, but when I go around to mum's, sorry mum, not criticising, but it is what it is. She has these lovely liqueur glasses, and she pours out some Baileys or some other sort of liqueur into these lovely glasses. And it's very nice and very enjoyable. Well, I can tell you right now, when I'm at home, I get a plastic cup and I put ice in it, and I probably have 3 times that amount in my cup. Yep. So going to be enjoying my Baileys over Christmas, as well as my gin and tonics that I've bought. So yeah, we've got a very nice relaxing time planned. We're not going anywhere, we're not doing anything. We are just going to be at home, spending some time together, working on our various bits and pieces that we like to work on when we're at home. Mr. WhotKnot's got a big workshop outside that he's built, so no doubt he'll be tinkering away in there, and I will probably be in here quite a bit and bobbing around in the pool. So yeah, that's our plan. My birthday is next month, so when I see you next, I will be a year older. So we will probably do something for that as well. I know I'll be catching up with the knitting ladies because Susan's birthday is around the same time as my birthday. So we're going to celebrate it together, which will be lovely. So I'm looking forward to that. But look, apart from that, everyone, again, a big thank you to everybody. I appreciate you all so much. I feel like I've got to know some of you over the past 12 months, even if it is just from the comments. So I really enjoy the comments. I am so sorry that I haven't managed to get back to everybody on the last podcast, but I have, as I said, I've definitely read them all. And yeah, so I wish you all a very happy and peaceful time at Christmas. I hope you enjoy spending time with your family, or not if you don't want to. I hope that you eat lots of yummy and delicious food and don't worry about putting on any weight, because we all have, so don't worry, nobody's going to notice and nobody's going to say anything because we've all put on weight. And yeah, just have a grand time, and let's hope and wish for a much more stable, happy and healthy 2021. So I will see you all at the end of January, and I look forward to that. Merry Christmas. Bye.